Dude, I've been having an absolute blast working on my own SaaS the past couple of months, and in this video I want to reveal to you all the tech that I used to get it done. Let's go through all the most interesting tools together. I'm gonna tell you what I pay for them, if I think they're worth it, and show you around all the analytics, the whole behind the scenes. In this video I want to give you a realistic idea of what it means to build your own SaaS and the tech that you need for it. Let's see it. Alright man, the gazillion-dollar unicorn stack. Here's exactly what I'm using for everything that's involved in this application. And just so you have a very basic idea, right, of what this app even does. Trust me, this is not I'm not trying to sell you anything, I just want to show you what it does. So the core idea is you can get more reviews from your users or your customers and showcase those positive reviews on your website, right, to increase trust to whatever product that you're making, whatever SaaS you're developing, whatever. So you can basically collect reviews, text or video reviews even. We make it very easy to collect those reviews and we optimize those for very fast delivery. So from the infrastructure side of things, from the tech we use for optimization, that's going to be really interesting. So these are automatically optimized for high performance delivery on your own website, meaning the images and videos that people leave you in their reviews, right? So let's see how it works under the hood. What I use in the gazillion-dollar unicorn stack, also known as the Josh stack. No, not really. And it all starts with a framework, which is Next.js 14. Now, I think it makes sense to do it like this. We go through each kind of thing I've listed here on the left, like deployment, webhooks, payments, and so on, step by step. So that way for each one, I can also tell you my thoughts on, is this tool even good, man? And with Next.js 14, I believe so. And the reason being, they have a fancy website, which is all I need for my tech choices. The React framework for the web, used by some of the world's largest companies, Next.js enables you to create high-quality web applications with the power of React components. Alright, dude, I'm sold. I'm gonna use it. No, but jokes aside, Next.js 14, I'm having a really good time developing in it. I think it's very good part of the stack. For deployment, I'm using the Triangle Company. Now, that's Versel, by the way, if you don't know what that is. And let me show you through the dashboard. Now, I've deployed to AWS Amplify my Next.js apps a lot of times in the past. It's great, but my reasoning for Versel was convenience. I wanted to get this launched as soon as possible, and Versel makes that pretty easy. So they also provide stuff like analytics out of the box, which is awesome, right? So right here we can see how many people. Let me zoom in so you can see this easier. Come to the website each day. So in the last week that was about like 3.2k people. Today that's like about 122 people, and you can see where they come from, like from YouTube, from Twitter, from Slack. Who came from Slack? Where those people come from? Like the most part from India, from the United States, Germany, United Kingdom, and so on. And basically, it's just convenience, right? It's not super cheap. I'm paying $20 per month for Versel, but for the convenience of launching this product really fast, it was worth it, I think. Now, for the image and video processing, for the automatic optimization, a very big part of this app, it's AWS. So basically how it works is people that want to give you a review on our platform can either upload images or video, for example, of themselves talking about their experience with your product, right? Which is great for you. And then we take that video stored inside of an S3 bucket, which is like a cloud storage. You could also use like Cloudflare for this, but S3 works pretty well. And once that file is uploaded to S3, we automatically trigger an optimization routine that either compresses your image or optimizes your video for adaptive streaming and so on. I'm gonna get into that separately, but essentially the media is optimized, right? And that happens inside of an AWS Lambda, which is a serverless function that you pay for based on two things. First off, how long the function runs, and then secondly, how much memory each Lambda has. So for example, video processing is super resource intensive. You need a lot of power for it. So the Lambda that handles the video processing needs about 10 gigabytes, or at least I'm allocating it 10 gigabytes of memory, which is quite a lot, but it's also of course more expensive. But that way we can make sure that the videos that you get as your reviews are really fast. And pretty similar thing for the images. We also use Cloudflare for a part of that. But in this whole process, FFM Pack, one of the probably most underrated tools ever, we use very heavily. The bottom line of what FFM Pack does, it basically lets you convert media, images to other formats, videos to other formats, and so on. You can take an MP4, convert it to an AVI video, right, as the kind of most basic use case, but you can also optimize videos to be served on a website, which is what we do. And once that image or video is processed, it's put into either the Cloudflare CDN for images, or it's put into the Amazon CDN CDN for videos called CloudFront. So either way, your images or videos are served from the edge. They're served really, really fast. That's what the optimization is about on AWS. And honestly, AWS is not the most intuitive. It's the first time I've used it for such a heavy use case, but it works pretty well once you get the hang of it. But it does take a while. At least it took me a while to understand what the hell is going on with Lambda. Now, next up, webhooks. Very, very important part of any infrastructure of basically any app. You need to make sure that any webhook that you have in your app really arrives at its destination, because webhooks contain things like payments, right? If somebody purchases the premium plan on your app, that payment is triggered by your payment provider. We're gonna get to that later as well. And with a webhook, you are now expected to handle like database updates for that user's paid plan yourself, right? And it's very, very important that this webhook actually arrives on your endpoint so you can update the user that just paid you, right? Otherwise, they couldn't access their paid plan or whatever. So bottom line, it's really, really important to make sure that webhooks arrive, that media is processed when it needs to be, that payments are processed properly. And for that, we use Qstash. That is made by Upstash. And that basically allows you to have a delivery guarantee for your API requests. It automatically retries on failure. It has a bunch of other stuff. By the way, I work at Upstash. I even made this little infographic here. But I would have used the tool if I didn't work at Upstash either way. I think it's great. And it's very, very important to make sure that your webhooks actually arrive when they need to. Now, this app also supports a premium plan that we have right here under the pricing page. There's the hobby. So the free tier, you can use it completely for free if you want. And the premium plan, which is right now $12 per month, which is probably way too cheap considering all of our like competitors are more than double that expensive. But I just wanted to implement payments and see how that works. And for that, we use Lemon Squeezy right here. It's very similar to Stripe. They have even been acquired by Stripe. But the nice thing about Lemon Squeezy is that they care about the tax, right? I live in Germany. Taxes are a pretty heavy topic here. And for a company to take care of taxes, even though they are charging more than Stripe would be, for me, it's worth it because they're the merchant of record. So they handle the tax compliance. And I think that's just a pretty nice convenience. So I need to do less when it comes to fighting taxes each year. For the user authentication, we use Clerk. Now there's so many alternatives, man. There's Kind, there's Nextauth by implementing auth yourself. I ended up going with Clerk because just like the Triangle company for deployment, it's definitely not the cheapest option. But they do provide nice analytics and they also let you launch your product really, really fast. And I've opened up the dashboard right here. You can see the total users all time of this project are 619 with, wait, what? That doesn't even, why are there more users active in August than there are total users? Anyway, okay, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But anyways, it's like around the 600 people mark. So it's not like this giant app, you know, and you can see like a graph here. This is when I first announced the software on YouTube. It got like 256 users in one day. And since then it's been going down a bit. So right now it's like pretty consistently about 40 or 35 new users per day, which I think is like really, really cool actually. For something you built for people to actually use it, man, that's very nice. And lastly, for testing, right? Stuff needs to work. When somebody submits a review, it needs to be optimized. When somebody purchases a payment plan, they need to get what they pay for, right? And that's pretty similar to webhooks in you need reliability in your app. It needs to work. That's why testing is really important. And for that, we use both Jest for unit tests, so testing individual functions, and Cypress for end-to-end tests. So for example, one thing we're testing is when you submit a review. So we automatically instruct a headless browser to go to this path and actually submit a review, that it actually shows up in your dashboard, right? So that way we can make sure end to end, yes, people can actually submit reviews. Same thing for the authentication flow. We also test that. The freelancer I work with on this project actually wrote that. I was really, really impressed how well the test is. And that way we can make sure that, you know, stuff that you expect to work actually works. And that's probably why this is also a certified Hood classic. No, but jokes aside, man, I'm having a really, really good time with this stack. Now, in that video, I forgot the database. I used Postgres hosted on neon.tech, but just because they had a free tier, to be honest. If I would start over, I would probably go with a Cloudflare D1 SQL database. And also many people have been asking me about the UI. And most of this, I did it myself. I'm building some things on top of Shadzy and UI and customizing his components, but most of the stuff comes from a Figma template that I got and just kind of re-implemented the components myself in code. So really, there's not a lot of magic involved here. Dude, I hope this video helps you figure out which tag you want to use for your next project, and then I'm gonna see you in the next video. That's gonna be it. Until then, have a good one and bye-bye.